Oh, you can start.
All right. Good morning, beautiful people. It is Wednesday, the 30th of April. Welcome to TDA, the day after, your favorite news platform and the home of popular culture as defined by you guys, the culture. And like we are every blessed day, we're hosted by the very best, man. Brent, how you doing today, man?
Blessed and highly favored. How are you doing today?
We thank God, man. We thank God. You know what I'm saying? The Aten is out, so I can't complain, Brent. I can't complain.
The Acton?
The Aten, yes, the
sun?
sun. Yeah.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? Emanating and that.
When you were sat there just now, you kind of put your head down and you said a few words. Were you praying?
I might have been. You have to start the day with prayer, man. You know what I'm saying? Every day.
Cool, man.
I'm a praying man.
Cool.
You know what I'm saying?
There's a comment to read from YouTube.
Okie dokie.
You heard me listening to that clip when I came in, right?
Yeah.
I was sent that clip by David.
David.
Our David.
Oh, hi, David.
Yeah.
Okay, big up David, man.
All the time. And he said that he hasn't heard you comment on this. The thoughts that she was obviously exposing, right?
Yeah.
And I think he wanted you to comment on it, but I'm not sure if I want to play it. I'm not sure if I want to play it.
All right.
The nature of me listening to that, I had a thought, right? Because at certain points, it sounded as though like it was just being read out.
Okay.
Right? And I knew it wasn't.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could be worn down by certain ideologies or certain philosophies or approaches to philosophies. After a while, I don't know if me exposing myself to a certain mindset over and over again will get tiring. Now, I'm just saying that all across the board. I'm not just saying that and that.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I ever get tired of hearing people say that they're looking to do something to push the black community forward. Right? I don't think I ever get tired of hearing different ideas of how to do it. Right? But maybe thou dost protest too much and thou must do this more in moderation as opposed to bang, 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 bang.
Yeah.
Bang, 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 bang.
Yeah. No, I hear you. But I think the difference is, I think when you're an activist, though, that's your life. Do you know what I'm saying? So no matter where you go, the conversation will eventually go there. Do you know what I'm saying? Especially if that person's talking passionately about something. If I'm an activist about a particular thing, and I meet you in the corner shop, I'll talk furiously about Twix. Mention where the Twix comes from, and it triggering something in me, I'll have you in the shop for 30 minutes talking about the system and stuff like that. Because, you know what I'm saying? It's their life. So it's going to be that way.
I think I'm a solutions-based man.
True indeed.
Right? I hate theory to the end of the world. You know? As in, if you continue just keep on theorizing and not do anything to basically bring about that application of it, what are you doing to me? You're just wasting my time. I'm listening. I know you talked about the importance of listening yesterday.
Yeah.
Right? I can't do all of that.
No, but it's essential. But I hear what you're saying, though.
Do something.
No, you're 100% right. But remember, a lot of the time, people who talk, you don't always see what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? So you can't assume they're not doing something behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? They're actively doing certain things, little things here and there. The small acts of rebellion, you know what I mean? They add up. You know what I mean? But obviously, you're a different type of guy. You want to be like, no, let's do something. If I can't find somebody to do it, I'm going to find a way to do it myself. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody's like that.
If you're repeating the theory over to me, at some point I'm going to turn around and say, have you put this into practice? Do you understand?
Yeah.
Just throwing up problems, and not providing solution. What are you doing? Yeah. And what are you doing to me? What are you doing to me? I have to choose to stay there.
Yeah.
So I don't want to show this.
Yeah.
I don't. And I don't want to give it any more clarity than I've already given. I don't. But it's so interesting if that's how I come across. Because I was thinking yesterday, what were we talking about where, was it wrestling? Or was it something else that we were kind of mocking? Oh, I think it was the cult stuff. I was mocking that Antichrist fella.
Oh yeah.
And I was seeing how people's minds could just be good with rhetoric and whatnot, right? So I'm thinking, do other people look at Christians or Muslims, as yourself, and mock us because we're twanged?
100%.
Great.
100%.
The same way I'm looking at this guy, and then looking at people going, oh, like, they think we're doing the same thing.
Yes.
This is great.
That's why I find it, one of the reasons why I find it so fascinating.
Yeah.
That all of us
Think we're
to somebody else.
Wangawala.
Are maniacs. just believing in just spooky crap.
Spaghetti monster.
Yeah.
In the sky.
100%. Yeah. And we would do the same thing to those people who don't believe. There is a spaghetti monster in the sky. You know what I mean? So I think that's the beauty of life, man. So many people have different mindsets, different experiences, shape certain things. You know what I mean? It's a beautiful thing, man.
And the thing that I guess brings about the righteous part or the redeemable part of our human experience is us choosing to be kind to the next person. Even though we disagree with this and that, even though we might think that they want us for this and next, we can still be kind. We can still afford kindness to them.
100%.
Do you understand?
100%.
So if that, whatever it is that you're following, looks to strip that from your human experience, then that's not good for you or anybody that you're around. It's not good for your community.
Nope.
All right. What a way to start this Wednesday morning. All right, we got a comment. Is it now what popped up in the document?
Yes, it has, Brent. Thank you very much. So we had a comment, and this is from our good brother Ahmed. And he says,
Ahmed.
Big up Ahmed. And he says, big up you, man, but I'm not even letting you, man, land. This wrestling slander is wild. I'm 27. I'm working as a process. I'm working in process. Basically, he's an engineer. He's got 2 degrees. Pardon me.
Two
2 degrees in chemical engineering. Yeah.
You mentioned that you started chemical engineering as well.
No, not chemical engineering.
Oh, biological engineering. Yeah, same difference.
But yeah, he's 27.
I was being facetious. Please don't think me serious.
He's 27. He's working. He's an engineer, 2 degrees in chemical engineering. And this is what he says. But to this day, I love wrestling. Tell me any other form of entertainment that relies on interacting with the crowd, storylines, improvising, athleticism. And even if it's predetermined, aren't other forms of entertainment like TVs and movies, Brent? We all suspend our belief, and that's when it becomes fun. F WWE, because they're trash. But these lot in WWE are on the road 300 out of 365 days. They're not at home. They're missing big life milestones, birthdays, funerals, things of that nature, driving from city to city. All for the love of the game. I'm not even surprised that wrestling has become Hollywood's feeder club. Actors from Hollywood are always shocked when the fake fighter in underwear are what they're capable of doing, I guess, in front of camera, right? Outsiders, though, I 1000% hear you because it looks like absolute nonsense. But trust me, suspend your belief and hopefully you see something. Big up, Ahmed. I love the comment, man.
I love the taking me there. You took me there.
Yes.
Like the suspension of belief and whatnot. That's beautiful. But it seemed like there was a contrast in his position there when he said FWWE.
I think he's talking specifically about WWE. He doesn't necessarily like, I guess, WWE maybe, because I think maybe he thinks the whole thing is kind of trash. But there's other forms, isn't it? There's other forms of wrestling.
You think he was talking about other forms of wrestling that he's watching?
No, I think he likes WWE, yeah, as in the whole thingy, but I think there's parts of it where it's like it's not limited to WWE. I like wrestling as a whole. So, for example, you might watch, UFC in it, but you might like the other guys. Or what they called?
You call UFC wrestling?
No, I'm just saying. Like, you know, there's different MMAs, isn't it? So like the biggest known one is UFC, innit? But not everyone does the UFC. They do the other. I can't remember what the rival's called. You know what I'm saying? So I think he's basically saying, forget WWE, like specifically. It's not necessarily about them. But even if you want to say that though, bear in mind, them man are serious. They sacrifice so much. I think that's what I got from it anyway.
I need clarification because I hope you're not talking about WCW.
What's that? WCW.
I think back in the day, it used to be a reborn WWE, and sometimes they used to cross over.
Oh, was it? Oh, I never heard that one.
WWF.
I remember WWF. That became WWE though, innit?
That's what I thought. I thought WWE was the main thing.
Yeah, WWF is when we were small, innit? But then I think that became WWE.
That's what I'm saying. I think WWE is the main thing. So when he says FWWE, after saying that it brings him fun, it's a bit confusing for me. Maybe he's saying he doesn't like the corporate aspect of it. Maybe the capitalist element of it.
Maybe.
I don't know, man. It's like he likes boxing, but matchroom.
Yeah, that's what I think he's saying. You know what I mean? You might not like a particular camp, innit? Or a particular promoter. You know what I mean? A particular brand that has particular fighters in it, how they maneuver in boxing. But boxing as a whole, you love it. If you can get rid of all the politics, just watching it and entertain and allowing the entertainment to grab you, you know? That's what it sounds like to me. So.
Josh says he probably watches TNA.
I don't know what that is.
It's probably another branch under the wrestling.
Yeah. Probably, that's what I'm saying.
Zeitgeist.
That's what I'm saying.
Anyway.
There you go.
Well, if it suspends your belief and brings you the entertainment that I get from watching Blockbuster, HBO, you know, what else is there? Apple TV originals, you know, then more power to you, bro. I'm just saying, do you go to WrestleMania? And if you told a girl that weekend you're going to WrestleMania, would she say that's a write-off? That's not a man I could basically invest in.
To be fair, that's a different question.
That's the question I asked.
That's the question.
That's the question I asked.
For real.
That's the question I asked.
Because I guess you kind of leading up to the WrestleMania, you're preparing yourself during the week, innit? You're watching all the interviews. You know what I mean? You're
getting your costume, your placards,
all of that stuff.
No, it's coming to post, and you're like, yes,
that's the right size.
Yes. Deciding who to basically, you know, to go as.
Hey, life is something, man.
Kiss your babe goodbye on the Friday.
Yep. Don't bother me until I come back on a Sunday. there's Triple H and them man to watch.
Triple H? No way.
I don't even know who's there now. But I think one time, Triple H is still there though, like, but in a different capacity, right?
Mo makes a good point. Mo says, love the man them. Women watch Love and Hip Hop.
You know, I think it's a bit different, you know.
Why is it a bit different?
I have to defend the women here.
Why? Is it not same scripted stuff? Acting for entertainment purposes? Are you not sitting down there watching other people live their lives?
Yeah, but Love and Hip Hop is almost like Love Island, isn't it? To some degree. Reality TV and all that stuff. You wouldn't say...
It is scripted.
Yeah. But it's still... You wouldn't say that's as crazy as WWE. For some reason, you wouldn't. Well, in my head, I wouldn't. Do you know what I'm saying? Maybe because it seems more... It's scripted, but it's still living a normal stuff. No one's going into the back room. Like, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Wearing costumes. You know what I mean? Grabbing the mics off people and saying, all that sort of crap. And just making stories.
Nah, but you been on this platform saying that girls take a long while to put their face on.
Yeah, but that's
and their costume on their head and stuff.
What? I said that.
You be saying that, bro.
I don't think I said that.
Yes, you do.
I'm capable, but I don't think I said that.
You didn't use the word costume for wigs.
All right.
But you basically implied it.
Did I? You think so?
You implied that they had to purchase this from other.
Not had to.
But they can make it themselves?
No, they just don't need it at all.
No. I'm talking about the same way wrestlers get into their costume.
Yeah.
Right? They practice their lines and whatnot.
Yeah, but they become different people. You meet The Rock outside.
They become different people.
Yeah.
100%.
No,
That's
but
makeup.
not like that. Though.
That's makeup.
No,
You've seen those transformations, right?
It's completely
They were the
different.
first Transformers.
This guy.
You know when people used to call them Transformers? They were the first Transformers.
Yeah, but
I used to live in that area, you know.
what the Transformers? It's diabolical, man. No, it's not the same, man.
Now
It's
people
not the
call
same.
them like new gens.
People call them.
People definitely call them. I didn't coin the word.
Are you sure? You know,
I probably did. I probably did. It hasn't spread too much though.
I think it will, man. It will. This is terrible, man.
Oh man. No, I don't know if love and hip hop is the same as wrestling for women. I don't know, man.
I don't think it's the same.
Because they're not going to travel to a different country for a convention or an entertainment piece. are they?
Exactly. That's true.
They're chilling in the comfort of their
Unless they went there
homes.
for a live show.
Huh?
Unless they went there to view them at a live show.
Is there a live show type thing in that particular franchise?
I think they do.
Serious?
I think
Love
when
and
they do
hip hop
the
live shows?
I think when they do the finale stuff, it's in front of a crowd.
Ah.
I could be wrong though, but that's the impression I get. It's in the studio.
I don't know. Because I remember you going back and forth with Esther about certain things that have happened on Love and Hip Hop. So you follow it.
Not Love and Hip Hop. One of the other ones.
Is it still reality TV?
Yeah.
All right, let's just it's in that particular arena.
The
Right?
Housewives.
And I'm not seeing women en masse. The same women I'm talking about that the hairs from their person that they're courting. Right? I'm going to WrestleMania. I hear them also watching wrestling.
Yeah,
I hear them saying, "Yeah, I'm coming too," or "You'll see me there." You understand? So if it is you're watching the pantheon of reality TV, it can't be the same.
Yeah.
You can't equate it.
No, it's not. I think it's the same. But I'm literally, I was just talking, and similarly to yesterday, I'm trying to think of what the equivalent could be, you know? I really don't know.
Yes. Imi says that women who will have the same interests as him, 100%.
That's what I was saying. Remember I said to you yesterday?
100% there are women who watch wrestling, right?
Yes.
100%.
And go to WrestleMania.
I'm not talking about those women. I'm not talking
Yeah, of
about the
course.
minute group of people, right? Brother, wrestle. You know how some of these women get onto 40-year-old men who haven't settled down and they're talking about the same stuff on their podcasts and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
Just add on, they also watch wrestling.
That's insane.
But this is what I'm talking about.
No, 100%. Is it? You know what? Let me not go there.
When the women are just jangling their keys at 25 online saying, I've got my first apartment, first home, you know, and they're getting into the books, collecting all these degrees, they're climbing the corporate ladder. Do you understand? And then turning around and hearing a man say he's off to WrestleMania.
Especially if he's not doing anything. Because, like, truth be told, if the guy, again, like Ahmed, was a chemical engineer or he's in finance or something, he's making peas.
Has he bought a ticket to WrestleMania? Because he can watch what he wants to watch.
That's what I'm saying. If the guy is a professional,
Yes.
like he's doing stuff, he's
And
making...
he travels to go and watch
and he
WrestleMania.
goes, no one's going to say anything.
No one can because he's patterned, right?
It's true indeed, yeah. That's it. You keep your mouth closed. Because he's sorted. He's obviously got priorities in order. Do you know what I'm saying? He's perfected that, or he's mastering that particular area, and he wants fun. This is just his fun.
It's a bit different than a football game.
I think, yeah, 100%.
When I say a bit, I mean a lot different than a football
Yeah,
game.
very much so. Very much.
You can still respect that particular double degreed up engineer.
100%.
Going, come on, Arsenal! Come on, Arsenal! Instead of,
What if it then descends into the hooliganism?
chicken wing, crunch wing, chicken wing. You know when the wrestlers come by you and they go, yeah, you're like,
Insane.
oh man. Maybe when somebody takes me there, I'm gonna change my mind completely. Maybe I'll be sold. Maybe I'll say I understand. I still
You know
wouldn't
what?
tell
You
a
never
girl
know.
that I'm interested in. I'm going to WrestleMania on
Yeah, not in the
the
beginning.
weekend.
Definitely not in the beginning. Definitely not in the beginning. Especially if she's a serious girl. she'll be
Let
thinking,
men have their things, but WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Rah,
Yeah.
rah. That is interesting, man. Vaughn says, why are we policing people's choice of escapism?
Okay.
That's a good point. Why are we doing it?
Yeah.
Why am I asking the question? Do women get the ick if a man from Brixton, from Stoke, from maths, tells them, yeah, I'm doing this, that, and the next. Small business owner, and I've got a little investment, and I've got my ticket for WrestleMania 2025. Do you take that man as a serious man?
Boy.
That's the question I'm asking. I mean, we ask questions on this platform.
That's it, man. I'm literally, all this time, I'm literally trying to think of the equivalent for women, you know.
Still.
Yeah, because I really don't know what it would be. I really don't know.
For you yourself, like if you had a virgin, if I told you that not only was I watching wrestling, I was looking forward to watching wrestling, and I'm also booked up
The tickets.
for WrestleMania. How would you see me?
Honestly,
And
I
still
don't think...
incorporate all the other aspects of my aspirations.
That's what I'm saying to you. I don't think I would
including
see it
that.
as an issue.
You wouldn't change the way you see me.
Nope.
And maybe that's what Von's saying.
This is it.
But you're a man. But you're a man.
That's true.
And you're not a woman. And I really want to hear it from
the women, innit?
a woman.
Women, this call is going to be open for you guys. It's open already. Let us know, man. Let us know. Why would that be a ick? Or if there's any women out there that would find that even like a good thing. Even if you're not interested, then you'd be like, wow, you know what? I think this is a bit weird, but I like the fact that you like this sort of thing and you're that dedicated to it. Is there any women out there that will do that?
And I'm talking about full on,
Yes.
like, supporter. Like,
And you go.
but getting.
Yes.
And
Might have models of Ultimate Warrior and that.
is Comic-Con the same?
Comic-Con.
Comic-Con.
I don't know about the Comic-Con.
You know when they dress up in characters from Marvel, DC,
Oh my goodness.
and then they go to conventions.
That's different, man.
Why is it different? Why is it face like that? Why is it face like that? Why
You
is
know
it face like that?
Because I imagined the people that speak the languages. You know there's certain people that speak
You're talking about the Star Wars
Yes.
languages?
Yes.
Like the...
Yes. They speak Klingon fluently.
That's a different language though. Why are you now getting onto people who can speak a different language?
No, but
Just because you can.
it's not the same, though, innit? Like, it's not really an earthly language. Like, if somebody was speaking that language in the Tower of Babel, it would have been okay. It's not serious.
You just said it's not earthly language.
It's not.
Wait,
Star Wars. It's,
Wait a minute.
it's, you know,
We make up
it's celestial.
our colloquialisms to communicate to each other,
Yeah.
right? What's the difference with that? You know, rubbergov,
Yeah.
backslang.
Yeah. I never could speak that, you know.
Well,
Yeah.
this is why you're getting onto Klingon.
Maybe. No, but black slang is stupid, isn't it? You know what I'm saying?
Oh my gosh! Can you remember?
Man.
Can you remember? Like there are different ways to basically deploy the backslang.
Yo, everyone's talking about they like Comic-Con, you know.
Wait, serious? All right, there's attending Comic-Con, right? Timmy says Comic-Con is live. Now, Timmy, do you dress up to go to Comic-Con? Because that's the main thing. I think you can attend Comic-Con because it's just you going to a place, just like how you go to a football convention, and you have different teams and representatives there. You see actors there sometimes. You see authors there sometimes.
That's true.
And you buck them, you meet them. They do the games. That franchise, I could understand you just attending, but do you dress up? Like proper dress up?
You know what I'm saying?
Upon prompt, do you go?
You know how crazy that is.
Why you keep saying that? Just because you don't do it. But you go to NY, you put your bow tie on.
That's different, though.
Why is it different? Why is it different?
Because that's real life.
What's real life?
everything that's real life.
Some Muslims say that your thing is a made-up religion.
Yeah, but they don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what they're talking
You
about.
don't know what you're talking about with a Comic-Con.
No, it's true. That's what, I really don't. But it just seems like
I really don't understand.
I really don't. But I'll be honest with you. I would go to these things. Like I like to know what humans like. You know what I'm saying?
Chijoke says, learning Klingon is brazy to me. But a lot of things that Chijoke does, people will say is brazy to them. What? Man standing in the glass house, belting stones. I don't know, man. Gosh. I don't know. The Klingon stuff, like, I will be startled. But that's skill. Mm-hmm. That is skill.
Real dedication, you know. People are using Duolingo and stuff to learn different languages.
Yes.
You can't, there's no Duolingo for Klingon, you know.
There is. You haven't searched for
There's
it.
just forums and
no, they don't just do it via forums.
How do you do it then?
You have to get the intonation right.
That's what I'm saying.
And people say, no, that's not how you say it. How do they know?
Oh my goodness.
Nah, man. Nah, I don't think we should police people's escapism. Where'd that back come from?
Where'd
I
what?
just plucked it from my head.
Von.
Oh, crap. I repurpose stuff. Just like these wrestlers.
Oh gosh.
God damn it.
DCF Mux, assalamu alaikum, man. He said, I've been Comic-Con as a kid. I love Star Wars. Darth Vader is goated. But learning made-up languages is unserious.
But you see how he stipulated that it was as a kid.
Yeah.
I'm talking about adult living now.
Yeah.
Adult living.
Yeah. TC says dressing up as a Hulk and Thanos is a madness. Can you imagine that?
Timmy, can you defend yourself, please? You're just getting dumped from everywhere.
Brent, what's Furrycon?
Thoughts about Furrycon. Let me Google it.
What is Fury? Hey, you guys are putting us onto some new stuff, man. Furrycon. Or is it Furrycon? I don't know. Fury. I don't know, man.
I think it's Furrycon.
Furry. Of course.
Oh my. Look.
Come on now, guys. No, this is the worst one so far.
Von, come to the stage, please. Like,
this ain't Von. Von don't.
No, but Von is saying why are we now looking to get onto these people. And I'm, again, this is all within the frame of a black girl from north, south, east, west, good patch, right? Mm-hmm. Being approached by a man, like random, right? And he spits the game, all sorts, says all the good things, got the charisma and all sorts, you know? Mm-hmm. Takes out first lips, ooh, perfect. And then he tells her he's going to Furrycon. Like, do you plan your a life with this guy anymore?
You have to. And you got to make space in your cupboard for this. Because it's huge. You know what I'm saying? And then when he's getting ready, he puts it on, he's like, you know what I mean? He was stroke my tail.
I don't like how easy you're really treating these people. Vaughn, can you talk to this guy, please? This is crazy. This is crazy. But isn't this... Can this be kinks?
Probably. I don't know how.
And what is the difference between old gens, right, turning into new gens and identifying as what they want, and this? You can't come talk to me about me wanting to, and you've then got that in your cupboard. You can't.
No, but nah, man. I don't even know what to say to you, but I don't even know, man. I'm surprised. T says I couldn't accept this one. It would be a deal breaker. Yeah, like, and I understand. 100%. Because he would definitely make the kids do this as well. 100%. The man, yeah. If the man's into this, your kids will be into this.
The man being into this, the character of the man, it automatically is generated, right? You can kind of tell. I don't know. I think he's folding. If there's a confrontation, he's folding. Then again, he may not be, because you know some of those.
Yes.
Some of those
What? Yeah.
Especially the ones that come up from jail.
Yeah, that's true.
You don't mess with them.
Nope.
They will thump you up and then take it.
I'm telling you.
Sometimes they will take it and then thump you up.
This guy. Yeah, I mean, man, we live in a crazy world, man.
100%.
I'm telling you.
First time I heard about Furryland.
Yeah.
Good morning, Stacey.
Come on.
Good morning, Stacey. But
Oh, I
anyway,
thought she was in the Discord.
no.
I was looking forward to hearing from her, man.
Nah, she's in the chat. All right.
Oh, man.
So I think it's very interesting who we sit down next to on the train. I saw some guy come on the train yesterday, right? And he had leopard print kicks on. He had a leopard print, cheetah print, sorry. Leopard print kicks, cheetah print jacket. And he had a purple scarf kind of tied around his neck. Silvery hair. And you get to imagine how many times he did that, right? And he's reading a book. Then he had his flipping dog on a leash. The leash had a little leopard print collar. The dog jumps on the seat.
Yeah.
Just sits down.
Yeah.
Rubs his flipping bum hole on the seat. He leant down and kissed that dog in the mouth.
Yeah, of course it did. Yeah. And I didn't even need to ask where he's from.
How'd you read it?
From Furrycon. Oh, God.
Oh, man.
It was diabolical, man. I'm telling you.
That's why when people come into the house or in places, you have to wash their hands. You have to try and cleanse themselves. Sometimes don't even sit down on bloody seats because you don't know what was sitting on that seat before you.
100%.
You know what you're taking into your place of work or your house. Imagine that dog had like fleas and stuff.
So imagine, it does. It does. You know what I'm saying?
No, for these things, man. I just don't know, man. Just don't know. But this is what happens when it is you're black in Britain. It's the Black British experience.
You know what I mean? It's
Every day we just sharing another layer of Black British experience. To be honest, I don't want to alienate any Furrycon attendees.
At all.
And those who love Furrycon attendees, you're all welcome here. Sometimes I just want to be able to talk about it. Like, present yourself, come into the space, and let's just talk about what life looks like.
100%, man.
We might find out that we have a lot more in common than I assume we might.
Yeah, 100%.
You know? They dress up in that furry outfit. What's the equivalent for me? What do I put on? What do I dress up as? I put on a layer of confidence when I walk out. You know? I might be bluffing it, you know? I might be bluffing it. I might put on a smile as opposed to, the frown that I feel inside. What's the difference?
Still, you're both wearing stuff.
Stuff wearers. Oh, man, let's get into headlines.
Oh, before we get there, though, bro.
All right.
You hear about your boy Terrence Howard? Terrence Howard.
How do you mean?
And how he turned down the role for Marvin Gaye.
The conversation he had with what's that late night presenter?
I don't know.
Anyway, go on.
Yes. Yeah, man. Yeah, let me read out what he said. He said, I would cut my lips off if I kissed some man. I would cut my lips off.
He said it twice.
Yeah, he said it
He
twice.
stopped one shy of Dr.
Yeah.
Umar.
He likes two is a special number for him, innit? You know what I'm saying?
Boom.
Square
Double
root
it
of
up,
2
bro.
times 2. 1 times 1 is 2. He loves twos.
Strap it up twice, bro.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I was listening to, what do you call it, Breakfast Club, and they were talking about this, yeah, because that's where I first heard it, innit? And obviously, like, I guess he was entertaining the idea. I think it was Lee Daniels, the director, basically, who's interested in doing this. And so Terrence Howard goes to see Quincy Jones, innit? To find out more information about
Quincy
Marvin
Jones.
Gaye.
Quincy Jones is the same guy who basically said that Marvin Gaye had sexual relations with Marlon Brando. No, Marlon Brando had sexual relations with Marvin Gaye.
Richard Pryor.
Richard Pryor, and that gay author
James Baldwin. See, Quincy Jones will just be talking.
He said he's talking rubbish.
I don't know, but why are you just talking reckless like this? I don't understand.
We say reckless as in it's false.
I don't know. I don't know if it's false, but it's not my business.
Was Quincy Jones not like a pioneer for an entire industry?
Yeah, but
Wouldn't he know certain information that you don't know?
Perhaps there's a lot of information.
But you're saying he's senile.
No, I'm just saying. I mean, he's dead, isn't it? But I'm just saying, why are you exposing people's business? Marvin Gaye is one of the greatest musicians ever. You know what I'm saying? Nobody ever heard about him being gay. You know what I'm saying?
I think his family referenced certain things about him having conflict with his identity.
No. This is fake.
Sorry,
fake.
Nadia. It's a trigger word. Every time you hear fake, I just say Nadia. Sorry. Let me not call your name in vain. Continue.
Yeah, so like, you know what I mean? He's just making stuff up. Obviously, the Richard Pryor thing, you know, let me know you were talking about them things there, innit? But anyway, Quincy Jones was the guy who exposed it to Terrence Howard, allegedly. So obviously Terrence Howard's like, okay, cool. When I take on a role, I really want to live that person, innit? And because I'm hearing he's gay or was gay or did gay things, I can't take on that role. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't get myself into that place. You know what I'm saying? That's a bit too much for me. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's acting, I just can't do it. Hence, I would cut my lips off if I kiss a man.
Why are you doing it that voice?
You know how he talks, innit? He's always doing something. His voice does that, innit?
Frequency wave.
He does something. So yeah, man. Terrence Howard.
So what? You approve of him now?
No, it's not about proving. It's just me saying, you know what? He might not know anything about maths or science.
Rah!
But when it comes to...
This is what wins you over?
No,
the fact that he said you cut his lips off? If he kisses a man?
I never said that. It's nothing to do with that. It's more so to do with the fact that he didn't allow himself to be bullied into something. You know what I'm saying?
Bullied?
Yes.
As in, given...
He has principles and he said, you know what?
The role, he could just say no.
He did.
He could have left it right there.
He did. But they asked him why. And he just said, you know, this is what it is. And he didn't mind that the world may see him in a particular way. And I respect that because he just told his truth. Now you respect
that he going against the grain and saying something out of the box.
No, no. It has to be making sense in that realm.
Crazy confirmation
Maths and science. That's not for him. This,
crazy.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, Terrence Howard, man.
Wow.
Sometimes one, sometimes it's two.
Wowee.
But anyway.
All right.
Yes.
I think I told you that
That's loving that the energy said. Now they've been holding strays all week. That's what happens when you come on the show.
I ain't seen it. She's collecting ammo.
I hope so.
She's collecting receipts and that.
You know what I mean?
Don't worry about that, man.
All we want is the information that we got wrong. That's all we want.
We?
Me and you.
What?
The TDA community.
To be honest, I keep saying Nadia only because you seem to have a problem with Nadia.
Me?
What did Nadia do?
She basically said...
You know, we ain't seen Rebecca too tough since you messed her up, you know. You tried to blame her for the Sankara Gate.
Me and Rebecca are very good friends. She comes every now and again. She's busy. That's a grown woman. A professional woman. Doing real family stuff.
You think she...
You know what I'm saying?
Her husband subscribes to Furrycon?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
You know?
You know what? Absolutely
Some
not.
people might
He doesn't engage in that nonsense.
Like grown men going to church is like going to Furrycon.
Mm-hmm. Of course it is.
It's like Disneyland, but worse.
100%. This is why certain guys, I know, let me not say it. Anyway, there's certain men out there who are married to women, obviously, and then take them to church. Say, yeah, go to church. I'll come pick you up in 2 hours. I don't have time to sit down and talk about some imaginary crap, innit?
Oh, you think instead what they do with that time is basically build or go gaming?
No, just anything else is better.
Crazy.
To them, you know what I'm saying? So 100%, like, it seems crazy what we're talking about, but 100% to some people, it's the same as belief systems and religion and stuff, man. But yeah.
All right, fair. Yeah, I think I told you Ned events back on. Next month, God willing, we're looking at the end of the month, 30th. And God willing, we'll also be able to celebrate our one of our co-founders' birthdays, Danielle. So y'all need to come true. Obviously, once it is that we let everybody know that it's confirmed, then we'll send out some invitations or not. It will be obviously via here. We'll say, I don't know what I'm gonna say just yet, but there'll be a way for you all to basically submit your name and pull up. Because I ain't seen a few of y'all in a while. I ain't seen Greek in a while.
Big up Greek.
Greek.
The rebranded one.
The rebranded one, yeah. I've seen you've made your way back to the table this morning. I'm probably guessing it's because of Arteta. The match yesterday. Ed says, Nadia, Rebecca, our friend from the States. Our friend from the States.
Oh.
Sheila. Maybe Iman is the real Black Tate.
That's what I'm saying. That's how you lot start stuff. And then when they want to try and come for me, you lot are just gonna, I don't have time. You're gonna miss me when I'm gone.
Is Ed the first Chijoke?
Yeah.
What do I mean by that? Because you just said yes confidently.
Yeah. No, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, that's what the E stands for, enhanced. He used Chijoke on drugs. That is enhanced.
You know, you have HD as a high definition. You have ED.
Enhanced definition.
When did Chijoke start getting subs anyway? When did that start?
I don't know, you know. I don't know.
Like, there was just one day when you would just sit there minding your business, just talking to the world, didn't it? And then you saw something and you said, what?
I don't know what it was, you know. I don't know what it was.
Noreen says, man, you start stuff.
Me? I don't know what I've started.
You're a fire starter.
No, I never start anything. It always looks that way when I deal with them. It's not me starting anything.
Yeah.
Never.
Remember that scene in I May Destroy You where she goes into the pub and you hear that track coming on, fire starter, this, and she's going, That's the first time I was introduced to that song, you know. And then I heard it the other day on, where did I hear it? Mobland? You know what Mobland is?
It's that new show, right?
Yeah.
With the white guy. The Jewish guy.
Sure.
He's not Jewish, but he's Jewish.
He plays Jewish in a different thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
What's the guy's name again? That's it.
Yeah, Tom Hardy.
That's it.
Yeah.
Is it good?
I like things like that.
But it's a show, it's like a series, isn't it?
Yes.
Or is it? Okay.
Yeah, it is a series. Anyway, you haven't seen Sinners yet? I need to go and see Sinners.
Yes.
And I'm wondering, how can I see it? How can I see it? How can I find the time to see it? I'm waiting for it to be available for home viewing.
Yes.
But it might be a while. Yeah, but I want to get into conversation because obviously people are saying there's a whole set of stuff that we normally talk about and like jumble up in there. Right? And I guess it's the first time they've basically seen that type of interwoven, you know, thoughts and ideas and whatnot. It's not the first time I've heard and seen it. This is my everyday digest, bro. I take this in all the time. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it, man. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Look at Ed in there. Imagine Ed trying to deflect, you know.
Nah, how did this lead to Chijoke catching?
Can you imagine?
Yeah, it was Chijoke. Chijoke.
Yes. Anyway, guys.
Has he ever been invited in?
I don't think so.
Chijoke, would you come into this too? You know what? I'll ask you next month, to be honest. It might be easier for you to do that. Anyway.
Yes.
Bathroom Diary says Sinners was good. Ed says IMAX is the best, Brent. Is IMAX when it is you get that 5D experience? You get sprinkles of water, mist, scents, shaking seats and all sorts.
I think so.
Serious? I've never had that experience.
No. I think that's another thing. That's
another
in
one.
IMAX, but it's called something else. Maybe
the
for
ED version.
You know what I mean?
I need the ED. I need the ED because I want to feel everything.
With ED, you can't. You trying to think
Yeah,
of
not too much at Ed, please. I don't know what you did. You can do it to but not too much at Ed, please. I don't know what you did. You see what he does to you, Ed?
I didn't do anything.
But I don't even know what you meant. I don't know where you went. I don't want to know because I don't want to entertain it.
Okay,
It
cool.
will become a thing.
The people are gonna get it. The people in the chat are gonna get it. Anyway, but listen, we've got a lot to get through.
Yes.
And we ain't got that much time. You know what I'm saying? So, people,
All right.
let's get into headlines.
In context.
What did Maggie say?
When Tijoke told the bridesmaid story that changed his chat community trajectory. What? Can you give me a little brief
Yes.
summary?
So remember, him and his missus was getting married, yeah? And his missus basically had a friend who was a bit on the fluffy side, isn't it? And she basically said, listen, I'm going to give you X amount of time to get ready, get down to the right size so that we don't, you know what I mean, destroy the dress at the seams, innit? And make the pictures look diabolical.
Wow.
And that time came and there wasn't much change.
Wow.
So she was no longer a bridesmaid.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the summary? That's why you're pelting like subs.
No. He came on to tell us all of this. You know what I'm saying? He basically let the world know that his missus is basically a particular way or feels a particular way about fluffies.
And now we feel a way about his missus. We know her character.
Well, I don't. But it was more so that he would come and just talk.
Oh, you said he's a sharer? Come on. That's your indictment on him?
This is what Maggie just said to you. I'm explaining what Maggie said. This is not me. This isn't me. Oh my goodness. See, guys, I don't do nothing.
Oh man. Ed says no, IMAX is a screen size and resolution. You're talking about 4DX experience. That's what I want. I want the shaky chairs. I want everything. Daddy Green says, wow, that's crazy work. Corporate says LOMFAO crazy.
Yo, Brent.
What?
Life of Budge.
He's the best. He's the best.
No, 100%. But what I mean is, he must not have been here that long then. Because he just said, this can't be a real story. So he missed that period.
Life of Boss has been there from the beginning.
Has he?
He helped build the foundation.
So he's okay. So he's saying basically he doesn't believe the story. Not that he never knew about the story.
He's saying that Tijoke is a liar.
Okay.
He just volunteered it just to be part of the cook.
That's diabolical.
That's what he's saying.
Look, this is what Maggie just said. E-Man definitely adding what's that, seasoning to the stew, but that was basically it.
Oh,
I didn't add no seasoning. That's exactly what
I added seasoning, but it was it.
I didn't. It's not my story. I'm just telling you guys the story.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Anyway, people. First headline. President Donald Trump called Amazon founder Jeff Bezos to address reports that Amazon considered displaying the cost of US tariffs on its website. Trump described the call as positive, praising Bezos for resolving the issue quickly. Reports suggested that Amazon planned to show how much of a product's cost was due to tariffs. Imagine. Trump has imposed 145% tariffs on Chinese imports and a 10% minimum tariff on all other countries. White House officials criticized the idea, calling it a hostile and political act. Amazon clarified that the idea was never implemented on its main site, but was considered for Hall, which is a spin-off website. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer supported businesses showing the impact of tariffs on prices. Next headline, and a historic black church in Memphis, Tennessee caught fire early Monday morning, man, and suffered significant damage. Damn shame. The Claiborne Temple was the staging point for marches to City Hall, including a march led by the great Martin Luther King Jr. on the 28th of March, 1968, which turned violent when police and protesters clashed on Beale Street. Before the fire, the church was undergoing a $25 million restoration that was slated to be completed next year. The fire is still under investigation, and this is according to the Memphis fire chief. Next headline, and the UK joined US forces in attacking a Houthi target in Yemen, marking the first such action since Donald Trump's re-election. The MOD confirmed strikes on Tuesday in response to Houthi attacks on international shipping in the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden. Intelligence identified Houthi buildings used for drone manufacturing locating 15 miles south of Sana'a. And strikes were timed after dark to minimize civilian presence, with all aircraft returning safely. Defense Secretary John Healey emphasized protecting national and economic security, degrading Houthi capabilities, and also safeguarding international shipping. Houthi activities in the Red Sea have reduced shipping by 55%, causing economic instability. The operation was the UK's first strike in Yemen since May of last year. Let me read a couple more headlines as well. France accused Russia's military intelligence service, GRU, of orchestrating cyber attacks against French entities, including attempts to disrupt the 2017 presidential election and also the 2024 Paris Olympics. The GRU's APT-28 group, also known as Fancy Bear, has been linked to global cyber attacks, including the 2016 US election. Since 2021, APT-28 has targeted French sectors such as defense, finance, and public services, as well as Olympic-related organizations. French Foreign Minister Jean-Noël Barrot connected the renewed attacks to France's support for Ukraine. And in 2017, APT-28 leaked documents during Macron's presidential campaign, aiming to influence public opinion, but failing. And trigger warning on this, people. Trigger warning on this, people. Peter Nwachukwu, who is a widower, of Nigerian gospel singer Osinachi Nwachukwu, was sentenced to death by hanging for her death 3 years ago. Osinachi, initially thought to have died of throat cancer, was later revealed by her family to have suffered domestic abuse. Nwachukwu faced 23 charges, including culpable homicide, emotional psychological abuse, cruelty to children, and criminal intimidation. The High Court in Abuja convicted him, with a judge stating the prosecution proved its case beyond a reasonable doubt. The death sentence may not be implemented, as such sentences are rarely carried out in Nigeria, and Nwachukwu has the right to appeal. The case has drawn significant attention due to Osinachi's prominence and concerns over domestic violence in Nigeria. Damn shame, man. And the last headline, the Southern African Development Community, SADC, began withdrawing troops from the Democratic Republic of Congo through Rwanda on Tuesday. Troops will travel via Rwanda's Rusumo border post into Tanzania, where they will fly to their home countries. The SADC mission, which is known as SAMI DRC, was approved in May 2023 to support Congolese forces in Eastern DRC, but ended in March 2025 due to escalating violence. The withdrawal faced challenges including Goma International Airport's closure, caused by fighting between Congolese forces and the M23 rebels. An agreement was signed on March 2nd between SADC and M23 to facilitate the withdrawal of troops and equipment. Troops include forces from South Africa, Malawi, Tanzania. South Africa lost 14 soldiers in January during clashes with M23 rebels who now control Goma. Approximately 1 million people have been displaced by the conflict in Eastern DRC since late January, according to the UN. And that's it for the headlines, guys. It's time to pay them bills. Let's get into our topic of the day. All right, people. So yesterday, we had a dilemma, and that's basically what this topic of the day is going to be based on. And I'm just going to read out to you guys again, man. So today, So long story short, the person's 28. It's a man, a black man. Well, 29. It says 28, but in the actual thing, he says he's 29. Anyway, he's 29, yeah? And he says, "Good morning, team. What's today's mathematics? I wrote this originally as a follow-up dilemma, but maybe some of the questions or points could be discussed as a topic of the day, as the original dilemma was so long ago. It was about considering moving to a heavily Asian area. Anyway, I'm a 29-year-old black man still living with my mom. She's a single parent, and for as long as I can remember, it's just been the two of us against the world. I'm deeply grateful for everything she's done for me, but I'm at a crossroads. I know I need to move out, build my own life, and start thinking about my future. Yet I feel a huge amount of guilt leaving her alone. Am I selfish for wanting space? Is it okay to put my own needs first, even when I know my absence would deeply affect her? Sometimes I wonder if we're doomed by the decisions of our parents, whether their sacrifices, struggles, and poor choices end up shaping our lives in the ways that we can't escape. My mum relied on me emotionally and practically for so long, and I don't know how to untangle that without feeling like I'm abandoning her. As a black man, there's an added layer to this. Family ties in our community often run deep, and there's cultural expectation to stay close. Arguably, the expectation to take care of our parents seems stronger than the expectation for parents to set a solid foundation for their kids. Moving out feels like I'm breaking some unspoken rule, like I'm choosing independence over loyalty. But at the same time, I can't help but think that staying with her has kept me from fully stepping into adulthood. It's hard to build a relationship, to even meet someone seriously when I'm still living at home. The dating pool seems smaller because, whether it's fair or not, a lot of good women may see still living with parents as a red flag. If I had my own space, would it make me more likely to find a partner, to eventually start my own family? And if that's true, then is staying out of guilt actually making my future harder? I'd appreciate hearing your thoughts. How do you balance love and loyalty to a parent with the need to live your own life? Is it possible to move forward without carrying the weight of obligation? And on a wider point, is a significant number of single moms a key reason for black people becoming more likely to be unmarried in older age? There's a lot in there, Brent.
Quite a lot of questions.
Yes.
Have you broken down the questions so that we can actually give it its due?
To some degree. We'll attach it. We'll attack it generally first, and then we'll go into it. Overall, though, do you feel like, and people obviously, please call up, yeah. If there's anyone in the chat maybe who relates to this, we'd love to hear from you. How did you break free? Or if you're still in that situation, why are you still in that situation? Do you feel like it's a good thing that you're still in that situation? How long do you give yourself, etc., etc., etc.? Please call up and let us know what your thoughts are. But overall, let's go into it. Overall, I hear where he's coming from, right? But I feel like he's got the right mentality, because he knows for him to be a man, for him to get certain things sorted and put them in the right places, he does need to break free from his mum, innit? So at least he knows that, because some people don't know that, right? But obviously he's struggling with the fact that his mum relies on him so much.
I like that we have people like this in our community.
100%. It's a tough one, but I think ultimately he does have to think about himself. 100%. Because obviously I don't know how his mum became a single mum, right? I don't know the reasons for it. I don't know whatever. I don't know. Yeah, I just don't know in it. But like he's pretty much intimating here when he says something along the lines of their sacrifice, struggles, and even poor decisions end up shaping our lives in ways that we can't escape. So he's somewhat attributing their present condition to a decision which he even labels as poor, right, from his mum. Life of Bodge says, unmarried, stagnant, and naive about women and dating. What's that in response to that?
To the guy, he's basically characterizing the guy.
Okay.
Very harsh. This is his contribution for Wednesday morning. Not that he's looking after his mom. He's
you know what I mean?
Not that,
Life of Bodge, you're a harsh guy, man. Diabolical. But yeah, man, like, how does he break free? Is he selfish for wanting? Firstly, is he selfish for wanting his own space? That's the first thing he asks. Am I selfish for wanting space? Is it okay for me to put my own needs first, even though I know that my absence will deeply affect her? I don't think it is selfish for you. It's easier said than done. I'll be real, but it's not selfish at all. You at least recognize that for you to grow and be a man, you have to get from under your mother, man. You know what I'm saying? I think it's essential for us to leave our parents' abode and our parents' protection and our parents' shelter in order to be independent people and be something, make something of ourselves in the world. But even more so, you've just got a mum at home. There's just certain things that your mum can't help you with. It's just a fact.
Is it possible to truly find out who you are if you don't get up from under your parents' protection and care?
I'm not sure if I would say you don't find out who you truly are. But what I will say is, you won't find out what you can fully become. Reason why I say that is because sometimes people go out there in the world and they experience certain things and like, oh yeah, I'm finding myself and I've now realized who I am. But I don't think it's necessarily who you always were. It's more so you've become something. There's a process of becoming. Do you get what I'm saying?
At what stage
That's
do you
essential.
need to basically trigger or activate that becoming? I ask that because in the Asian community, that's ingrained in their culture. That's incorporated into their culture. They ain't leaving nowhere. Their entire life.
Yeah.
The family is still there. Parents are still there.
But I think it's because obviously I'm not Asian and I don't have like close Asian friends and stuff. So
I do.
okay, so you can maybe speak to maybe Nadia might be Asian too as well. So I don't know. But anyway, so hopefully she can give us information because I don't have it all. So anyway, I'm joking. But I feel as though it's because they prioritize the family element of it, especially when you're starting out, getting assistance. You know what I mean? And over the other part, I don't think it's necessarily a case of them not necessarily having certain things in place, because even in those certain in those homes, there's still space, I think, for men to be men and women to be women, because this is the reason why I've heard in these families, women often, as in the girls, the daughters, do different things than the sons do different things, if that makes sense.
What do you mean?
So in terms of the training to be a husband and the training to be a wife, they do different things from a certain age. So even though they're not out there spreading their wings in their own abodes and stuff, they're still being trained to be something.
Like what?
Just different things. How to look after children. How to look after children. How to take care of your home. How to cook. How to, you know what I mean? Those particular
those
things.
gender rules are basically enforced in that particular space. Yeah.
So I think they still get a certain level of training. You know what I mean? Finan says his mum is only leaning on him so much because he's letting her. Move out and you'll see her resilience come back real quick.
Interesting.
I think he has a point there. I think there's a point to it.
Kick your mum out the nest.
No, you leave. She stays. You leave.
But there's the proverbial nest of, I've got you, mum. I'm your security blanket. I'm your emotional pillow. So you'll see her fly. Is what he's saying.
Yeah, to some degree. That's not all of them though. To some degree, because some of them, especially if she's been a single mum since she was a baby, I don't think that applies.
Since she was a baby?
Since he was a baby.
Okay.
I don't think that applies, because I think some mothers, when they have that child, it's like, okay, cool, it's me and you against the world. Do you know what I'm saying? And when that changes now, after 28 years, 29, 30 years, there's going to be something.
So it's case by case.
100%.
So you're saying if he had provided a little bit more information about his mother's kind of,
How long has she been a single
whatnot.
mum? Yeah. Was she a single mum from when you was 21? Because if so, then you're fine, innit? But if it's from when you was 4, it's a bit different, man.
It's a good point that Dirty AirPods podcast has posited.
Dirty AirPods podcast says those Asians who stay in the family home are very repressed and underdeveloped. Are they though? Are they? But by whose standard and in what areas? Because again, obviously I don't live in those households. I'm just assuming here. But a lot of them have homes that function. You know what I mean? Then a lot of them, they're not broken homes. They function. They figure things out. You know what I'm saying?
And they function within the prism of their culture.
Exactly. Yeah,
okay,
exactly. So yeah, compared to us, you might think whatever, but to them it works
because they're all doing balloons in tunnels and stuff, innit?
That's not all of them, bro. That's not all of them. That's not all of them. This guy.
Fast car.
This is diabolical.
Banter.
Oh gosh.
All right, go and check out Dirty AirPods podcast on Spotify. Is there more here? Standard of the society quite immature. I think that was a carry on from before.
Standards.
Let's see what Mark E says.
Mark E says, Mum could also be put into a community before he moves out. Church community, interest groups, etc. That is true. You know what I mean?
DCF Mook says something that I probably share the same sentiment because my best friend, my Indian best friend, that is the same way. My Bengali best friend. DCF Mook says,
I disagree. My Bengali brother stays at home but has like 3 to 4 properties at 25. There you go. That's what I'm saying to you. They're trained in a particular mindset. Like, why waste resources on something where you don't need to? You're in the home. Stay here. Don't pay rent. Invest that money in something that could be profitable.
yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? They prioritize different things. I'm not saying they always get it right. Of course they don't. But nobody does, right? But for some of these households, it functions very well in the way that they want it to. You know what I'm saying? But
Nikki's right. Nikki's also right here.
What's Nikki saying? Nikki says the experience of men and women in those homes are very 100. This is exactly what I was saying to you. They are raised differently in those homes, but that's because they know when you go out into the world, you are going to be seen as a woman and a man, and men and women are very different. The problem we have today is because many people think we're the same, but we won't go into that today. But let's get back to the dilemma, guys. Listen, when does maternal love turn into the emotional reliance? Because obviously, the mum loves his son and loves her son, pardon me, and all that sort of stuff, yeah. But is this potentially something that he's putting on her? Because don't get me wrong, obviously, I feel as though he lives in the house, innit? He must know. He would have tried certain things. He might have gone out a particular day, come back late, and his mum might have said something that made him feel like, oh my goodness, imagine this was 2 days. She'll go in. You know what I'm saying? Like, he must know how she is. But is there a part of it that makes him... Is he attached also, where is somewhat becoming an excuse for not wanting to break free? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Is there something there?
Yeah. He shares that he thinks it might be easier to find a companion if he moves out, right? So he's currently struggling right now. I'm assuming based on what he said.
Yeah.
Do you think that it'll be easier for him to find a companion if it is he moves out?
At 29, I'll be real. You know what? It probably would be easier, but it's most definitely not something that can stop you. That stops you. Most definitely not. Most definitely not.
It's about to say that is not your problem.
No, I'll be real, because I think most black. Sorry, let me not say most.
You could generalize.
I do it a lot.
Yes,
to be fair, but I don't think most black women, honestly, will look at a 29-year-old and think, okay, you're living at home. You're whatless. You have no future. You know what I'm saying? If you're a good man, you treat her well, you have a plan of where you want to go, I think they're fine with that, man. I think genuinely that's how I see it. So I don't think that's his issue.
Should I do a poll? Give me a question to ask.
29-year-old living at home. Ick or not ick?
Okay. In this circumstance?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because to be fair though, yeah, definitely in this circumstance. Because I think if you're a 29-year-old living at home and you got both parents, I think maybe a woman might see it differently. Because if she finds out you're just there with your mum, she might think, is he a mama's boy? You know what I'm saying? She might start jumping to them sort of conclusions. But again, I don't really know. I don't think living at home, especially in this economy, man. What? Energy says you'll be surprised. Wow, maybe I've got it wrong, guys. Maybe I've got it wrong. Mark E says in 2025, some of these babes will judge you for living at home for sure. Kai, I've got it wrong, guys. But what do I know? What? Sorry, I don't know why I reacted. I don't know why. But Stacey says 29-year-old man living at home will require an explanation and a move out date. Come on, man. Come on, man.
You don't have to live at home. And I'm 45.
Yeah, but that's different, man.
Why is it different?
I don't know. What's different? No, but nah, man. Seriously. In 2025, this economy. See, this is why everyone's single. This is why. Because both sides, I'm not even going to say both sides. Women, you know, are being unreasonable then, you know. I'm not going to lie. I think you're being unreasonable. Wow. So wait a minute.
All right, let's
'Cause-
pull
'cause
this up.
Let's break this down. Yeah, Brent.
29 and living at home, ick or no ick, same situation we're discussing. Let's see.
Because Brent, let's factor this in. Yeah, you're living in London. Let's just say outskirts of London. Yeah. Let's just say outskirts of London. Let's not even say the same sort of areas that we grew up in, because like Hackney, Tottenham, Brixton, Peckham, certain areas the rents are getting expensive. So let's just say outskirts. Yeah. A studio flat, 1 bedroom. Let's just say 1 bedroom or 1 bedroom. Yeah. You need separation from the bedroom and the living room. Right? You're paying over £1,000, right? Easily 1, 2, 1, 3, potentially. Average salary is like 27k. After the tax, what are you taking home? What reel are you taking home? You're taking under 2k, you know, home, easy.
This scenario that you're building for me,
Yeah.
is the mum there?
No, I'm saying I'm trying to paint a scenario of what's realistic.
Independent living, yeah.
Why are you expecting a guy, for example, who potentially get an average salary to pay 1.3 to stay in London, to have, let's just say, £500 excess money? Still has to eat, still has to travel to work, still has to go gym, still has to take you out, yeah, and all these things. And
reminds me of a thing I have to show you. Go on,
cool.
continue.
And that be reasonable, and then expect him to build. Like he can do all of those things potentially if he's smart with his money, but he's not going to go anywhere. He will stay in the house.
You saying this is what kind of leads them to insult them?
No, I'm not saying that.
Oh, you won't go that far?
No, I wasn't saying. I was just saying, why is it that the women are expecting him to have an explanation and a move out date? Come on, man. Like, if he's gonna move out into what? Into that, and then struggle to grow, and then 2-3 years later, you're asking him, "Oh, I need a ring." Where's the money for the ring? It went in the rent.
You really ran with this one, haven't you?
No, but
Look,
you know what I'm saying.
I want you to watch this, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
This reminded me of this. Good morning, Christy. We'll get to you just now. Sorry. Look at this one.
Talking about us when we first, so Rafe and I were just talking about us when we first started dating, courting, whatever you call it. And oh my gosh, guys, we used to go out fine dining like every week.
Yeah, literally.
Every week we were spending. How much were you spending? Like £200.
Yeah, he just said that. How much were you spending?
Wait. Give me play it.
A week on fine dining. That's literally like £800 a month.
Which is just silly.
Now, in hindsight, why did we do that?
I don't.
After the money's gone. Why did we do that? So you can give him the time of day. That's why he did it. Because you wouldn't be in a damn bloody video with him talking about why did we do it. My money's gone. Don't tell me that now.
Take it.
I can take it out there. What are we doing there? Oh no.
Oh man, good morning, Christy.
Morning.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Wonderful. Share your thoughts, please.
About I don't want to talk generally. I want to talk specifically to the guy. I think it's 100% would be a problem for him in dating because of what he's described in terms of him and his mum's dynamic. From what I'm gleaning, if a woman comes in there, I feel like she will make it hard for the woman.
That's what I'm saying.
So I feel like it may be difficult just by what he said in this dilemma. I think it will be tough if he's now bringing a woman into the mix.
Yeah.
So especially at 29, I think the whole 29 and the guy being 20, it's all circumstantial, to be honest. Because again, in 2025, you need to consider a whole load of factors. You can't top everyone with the same brush. Because if a 29-year-old guy is living at home, again, let's say he's living in their parents in a 4-bedroom house, he's saving and he's got an exit plan, and he has he's got a good job and he's a career or whatever. I don't see an issue with that. But if it's now a 29-year-old where you're just at home, you're not doing anything, you have no plans for nothing, your mum is doing everything for you, there's no life skills or nothing, then obviously that's different. So you kind of have to assess the situation by the individual and what their situation is, and obviously you need to interrogate and ask questions. But with him specifically, I find it will be hard. He definitely needs to. He's not being selfish. I don't think he definitely needs to. There needs to be a cut the cord. There does. I'm sorry, because I feel like this. Let me speak for. I'll speak for. Let me not me. But in terms of like Nigerian households, I'm sorry, the way it is set up, they like to do this whole emotional manipulation. I'm sorry, they do. They do. So you need to. It's one of the ones you need to cut the cord, force, because if it just carries on, it's just going to be the same. It's just going to be the same. It will just. He's 29 now, so I don't. If he's not going to do it now, then when?
Do you understand where the mum's coming from?
Period.
What?
Pardon?
Stacey.
Oh.
Good morning, Stacey.
Good morning, Stacey.
Morning.
I was just gonna say to Chrissy, do you understand where the mum's coming from though? If the mum, to be fair, she hasn't said anything in it, but do you feel like, obviously I don't want to use your situation here, but do you feel like it will be hard for you to let your son leave the nest?
No.
Okay.
Please go and be a man. I'm not gonna stunt my son in that way. And also he has a father. Please.
Yeah, for real.
Like, what are we doing? Like, it's not I'm currently not in a position, and I definitely won't be in the future where I need to rely on my son for anything. I'm set up in a way that can't be my story. But unfortunately, certain immigrant parents, the cash flow runs the wrong way, and that's why we can't create generational wealth, because we're putting it, and because of like he said, because of their decisions and poor decisions, we're not taking care of them, and we're not their pension plan when it shouldn't be that way.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, because I know in all of our parents and stuff. Yeah, but is that narrative sometimes a bit too harsh? Because it might seem like poor decisions to us, but remember they came here, like, you know what I mean, with nothing.
Iman, I know you, because you love your mum very much. I get that you wanna give grace a lot to the parents. But I'm not saying that we shouldn't. But at a point, it becomes detrimental to us, because how are we meant to move forward?
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
It's so funny because I'm having this debate with my parents about retirement right now. I'm sorry, but at 60 plus years old, you've been in this country for at least 40 years.
Yeah.
At no point did you think? At no point. Like, I get the grace of having responsibilities here and abroad, but it gets to a point.
Exactly.
And now I have to. Now, if you put me in a weird position, because I have to. Now I'm at the end of my, like, have grace, be gentle with the conversation. Long story short, we got into a big argument about student loans and their contribution to education, but it spiraled into this subsequent conversation about this retirement thing, because at the end of the day, like, I don't know how to gently put to you, or I've been putting it too gently where it's flown over your head. If you've been mismanaging funds for 40 years, just say that. At the end of the day, the money's not going to show up tomorrow. There needs to be a plan moving forward. And if I'm part of this plan, you better discuss it now. It gets to a point.
But don't you feel like there's a lot of sacrifice that they did for us, though? You know what I'm saying? Where they really stopped, or they just weren't able to do particular things. So, for instance, I was given an example of this same 29-year-old who's basically staying at home, or any person who's staying at home for a prolonged amount of time. They're able to save money on rent. They're able to then build up a deposit, get a mortgage. When our parents came here, there was no, I stay with this particular person. Don't get me wrong, some of us did, some of our parents did. But generally speaking, a lot of them came and just paid rent immediately, right? Hence why so many of them had 2-3 jobs, right? But they just came and paid rent. They didn't have a place where they could just live rent-free to save money to buy a property. You know what I'm saying? Again, I'm not saying, I know a lot of our parents did buy properties, but some of our parents didn't, right? And so I'm saying in certain situations, especially when they got 2, 3, 4, even 5 or 6 kids, it's tough. You know what I'm saying? So shouldn't we cut them a bit of slack?
Yeah, it's tough. No, yeah, it's tough. And yes, it was a sacrifice. But at what point do we draw the line where the sacrifice becomes I'm in gratitude, but then I'm also you're also a hindrance.
Also,
because if we keep playing this game or we keep doing this, then how as a generation are we meant to move forward?
Yeah.
Also, I think
sorry, Stacey, sorry, just to say, it then seeps into the dating conversation and the dating market, because if his dating market is now affected by this very thing.
Also, I think it's twofold, because the parents who are financially stable and are doing financially well and have set themselves up financially to take care of themselves now and moving forward, I would bet a lot of money that they're not letting their children stay at home without a plan and a long discussion about their finances. And the parents who are struggling are also not letting their kids stay home without contributing substantially to the finances of the household. So then I ask, what then is the point?
Sorry, say that last bit again, Stacey.
The parents who are struggling financially are expecting contributions substantially from the kids who are at home.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot of people who are staying at home, especially at the big age of 29, that aren't contributing in some way, shape, or form.
That's true. And they should.
So, which should?
As in the kids
I'm very anti parents charging their children rent, especially if it's going into the parents' pocket. I'm very anti. There are some parents who they will charge you rent and they'll put it in an account for you so that when you move out, you have like a springboard.
That's true.
I'm very pro that, but I think there's a different level of greed and jealousy that exists in parents who charge their kids rent and put it in their own pocket. That to me, I would never understand and I'll never advocate for.
Greed and jealousy?
Yes.
Where's the jealousy part?
Oh my God, I had a long conversation with my mom and a couple friends of mine about this same thing, where parents will notice, especially kids in their 20s, they start to see them working real jobs. And then the kids will now start traveling, buying themselves. It might not be nice things, but, maybe treat yourself here and there to something nice. Not all of a sudden they start to pocket watch. All of a sudden, oh, I see you've traveled twice in the last year. Go ahead and put a little 500 on the mortgage.
Yeah.
I told my mom, I said, Mom, if I were to move home and you charged me rent and you didn't put an account, my name must go on the deed. Oh, she had a problem with it.
Yeah, but why wouldn't she?
So why are you expecting me to pay mortgage? Her excuse was, oh, you don't understand. Parents really struggle. I said, so maybe we should talk about you not living within your means. If my contribution to your mortgage is required for you to be able to sustain yourself financially, let us have it. First of all, if you can ask me for that type of money, you need to be able to be vulnerable with the child about your financial status. If it is that big of a need.
I miss you, Stacey.
If it is that big of a need, we need to talk.
Keep cooking.
You are living above your means. Because if I should leave this house now and decline your offer to pay rent, then what are we doing? Are you going to foreclose next month?
No, but then are you going to spend $2,000 on your rent?
Who? And will happily, if that's the cost of peace of mind.
But why is there a lack of peace of mind if you just spend $500?
On top of that, I would never give, but let's say someone were to be willing. I give you money for rent, or they give you money for rent, and now you want to start putting stipulations because this is your house. Don't be treating my house like a toilet. Don't be coming at any time of the night. Ma'am, I'm a tenant. Respectfully, please don't be clocking what time I'm coming into the place that I pay rent. And I understand you have to have respect for your parents. That's where that boundary comes in. If they're going to treat me like a tenant or going to treat me like your child. And that doesn't mean coddle me, because me personally, 25 is the cutoff. If you're staying at your parents' house beyond 25, and at 25, between 23 and 25, you just returned from school. If you're staying at your parents' house past 25, respectfully, I want to hear the financial plan in place. I'm staying at my parents' house because that $2,000 that I'm going to be paying in rent outside, I'm putting into a high yield savings account, and I want to buy property by next year. Great thinking. That one I could allow. But 29, just because the economy, please go get a roommate.
Damn.
It gets to a point, and this 29-year-old is looking for a woman around his age that should be birthing his children in the next 2 to 3 years. You're going to be a father in less than a presidential term, and you want to tell me you want to be at home because of the economy? Get lost.
No, but he's not going to give you a baby whilst he's at home with his mum. He's building. He's building.
You think he knows when he's giving people babies? It's good.
Of course he does. I don't know what to say.
I love this. I love
the conversation.
I love this.
Oh yeah,
man.
You're really before the lunch, Emmanuel.
No, do you know what it is? If I'm being honest here, because of the time,
we can explore this
tomorrow. We have to, 100%. We have to do this again tomorrow. I'm just a bit conscious of the time, so I'm trying to think of what to say and what not to say, so it doesn't extend over the time that we have today. But Stacey, please come back tomorrow. We need to continue. But while we're here, though, you don't feel like it's I don't know, like for me, in the example I gave, here in London, it was probably the same way where you are as well. The amount of money for rent, the amount of money to look after yourself, to do all these things that is expected when you now want to go out there and date, earning average salary as well. Like, how is that possible? How then do you expect him to now build? And
is it going to decrease when he's 35?
Sorry, say that again?
Is it going to decrease when he's 35?
No, but at least when he's 35, he has now a lump sum. He has savings. He has certain things. You know what I mean?
From where? We just said the two scenarios
because he's
in
at
which
home.
he would still be spending the money.
No, what I'm saying is he's at home, innit? So if he's at home, he's able to save money. You know what I'm saying? He has a plan, X, Y, and Z. But if you're now saying, no, that's not good enough for me. I want you to be out living by yourself, from 25, earning an average salary in London, for example. Like, where is this money to then build a house with you? Where's this money to then build and buy a property and start having family? Do you get what I'm saying? It just doesn't seem as realistic.
I'll allow some margin of gray area given we're on different sides of the pond.
Mm-hmm.
That's not flying in America. But also, I'd like to ask, because I know for a fact the 29-year-olds who live at home, if I ask them what their saving account balance is, if it's even $1,000 or more, I'll even shake their hand. Is that the case on that side? Do the 29-year-olds who are living at home actually have savings? Because if that's the normal, cool. But in my observation, I don't know.
No, I think you're right. I'll be real. Like I remember saying this to somebody before. Like when I used to work in a bank, and people would come in, take out their money, and I saw how much money they had in their accounts. I was like, this can't be life, man. I don't understand how you can live life with just this. And it just shows like the real, I don't know, like the conditions that we're all facing. Like this is really a particular way in this economy. So if somebody who's 29, who hasn't got the foundation, hasn't got certain things in place yet, like how do you expect him to do certain things? Like, don't get me wrong. I believe, right, at certain times in your life, you have to look around. You have to maybe learn a new skill, maybe go back to school, maybe get into a different field, do different things, right? You have to be one of those people, right? To be a go-getter and actually change your financial situation. But the average 29-year-old, 28-year-old, all that sort of stuff, it's tough. It's tough. Do you know what I'm saying?
I think you guys are making excuses for grown-ass people. I think if you're not going to give them, at what age are you proposing? And this is rhetorical. I don't think it yields the answer because, again, you guys are on a time crunch. But me and my personal opinion, you need that time, honestly, of like, I would say 24, 25 to your early 30s of really like having a roommate, living before you live by yourself, where it's a little bit more cost effective before you jump the gun and can commit to the bill of living by yourself. I'm 25 years old. I live by myself in Los Angeles, Hollywood, California, to be specific. Rent is not getting cheaper. Sorry. Like, and maybe that's an expectation of mine because I'm able to do it and still be able to afford life in excess. But like, it's not going to get any cheaper. So at what point are you going to cut the tie? And I'm not advocating for you to, go out there and tell your kid to bump his head in excess. No, but that's why I say if they're going to stay at home at the age of 29, there needs to be a very serious and very strict. And honestly, at 29, if I'm a parent, you're staying in my house, I'm very involved in this financial planning of your exit. And it has a target end date. Not because I want to run you out of my house, but as a grown individual, and this is not even male exclusive, this is men and women. You need to go out there and learn what it means to be independent and be on your own. It is I have friends who to this day live at home. There's a mindset that's just so different. I haven't lived at home since I was 17.
Yeah.
It's a different mindset that you can only learn with that independence. It doesn't mean you have to go super far. But again, if you're continuing to coddle that, the economy may get better, but the cost of living is not going to get drastically lower. Let's be real. So you have to go out there and learn how to digest it before you're expected to do that with a spouse, do that with children, and do that with people outside of your parents who are going to depend on you. And your 30s, in my opinion, is not the time to learn that. Your 20s is the time to learn that. Your 30s is the time for you to refine that. Your 40s is the time for you to be really perfecting it. And if you're starting at 30, we thank God for all the women that are willing to take these men off the market, but it won't be able.
I hear you. Aisha says living at home at 29 is absolutely fine. I've seen people at work living in basic conditions just to live in London, eating pot noodles for lunch every day. What kind of quality of life is that? That's what I'm saying.
Poor money management.
Amen.
Is it really? It's not, man. It's the average salary doesn't stretch. It doesn't. 2K a month is not enough. If you're living by yourself in London, that's not enough.
So what's the plan to get out of that?
Staying at home, build up the
Build
reserve.
what if you're making 2K a month?
Yeah, what I'm trying to say is you won't have to spend half of that on where you're living. You can.
Okay, but what's your plan to get out of that? You're either gonna pray that the cost of living lowers, or you're gonna have to find higher income. So which is it going to be? Both of which require a plan.
I'm not saying that you shouldn't have a plan. You most definitely should have a plan. What I'm saying is it's easier if you're staying at home, because the £1,000 that you give to your landlord is the £1,000 you keep in your savings account. Do you know what I'm saying? In a year, that's 12K. You know what I'm saying? So
anyway, I've said if you're at home, your parents are probably requiring money from you one way or the other. If that's not the normal on that side of the pond, cool. But over here, the parents who are well off are requiring funds go in the account as a savings. The parents who aren't so well off are requiring $1,000 around contribution to the house. So you might as well go and spend that rent outside.
Damn. Please make sure you come back tomorrow.
That's a very good point, though.
Who's that in the chat? I can hear a male voice. Huh?
Ed.
Big up Ed, man. Ed, what you saying, man? Talk to the people.
What you said. Oh, bless. I wanted to. I don't want to get into. Stacey's gonna call back tomorrow, so we can get into what Stacey's saying tomorrow. Like, I don't want to get caught up in that one, because I feel that's a whole other And it's kind of linked up. Remember that video I just sent the other day? That I sent yesterday as well. What Shinx was saying. So I feel like that can all sort of be one big conversation. But in terms of him, like, in terms of to the brother, I gotta just like say, like, it's clear that the boundaries, like, there's unhealthy boundaries there. Like, at the end of the day, if she's leaning on you like a second husband, like that's just unhealthy, full stop. Because now she's leaning on you to be her rock, emotionally and financially. Like, that whole, we all talk about the adultification of us, you know what I mean? Like, that thing of like having from childhood, obviously I'm assuming from childhood, that he's had that sort of relationship where, she's treated him in that way. And that codependence is mad unhealthy in the grand scheme of things. Like, and you lose your identity to an extent. Like, you become your mom's rock in it. So you just, you lose yourself very easily in that sort of thing. So I'm just like, that does need to cut. Like, even just like, besides relationships with like other women and stuff, like, just for your own sake, bro. Like, you need to be able to develop your own life outside of your mom. You know what I mean? That just goes without saying. So whether you're living there or not, whether you're living there or moving out, that relationship has to change. Like, you can't keep allowing it to be what it is at this moment in time. Like, but I'm not saying it's got to be like an abrupt, just like, this is done now, kind of thing, But even just like stuff like, obviously, I can't remember who brought up in the chat, but about like helping her get in that groups, like obviously, you know, but the church or just getting into certain hobbies or stuff that she's, you know, already like getting to have more interactions with people outside of you and have relationships with people outside of you, you know. Also be willing to actually put up the boundary, but also be willing to put up the boundary in terms of like even just discussing moving out, like being able to make it clear that, you know, that you're that I'm looking to do this for XYZ reasons, and you know, and you know, and that making it clear to that, yeah, that it's not about you, that you know, that having to like make them understand that, you know, every decision doesn't have to revolve around them, you know, that it's okay to think for yourself and think about yourself, you know. And then even if it's obviously on the financial tip, like kind of what Stacey was saying, where you go like, yeah, like you don't sit down, have a conversation about finance, because if there's a problem that literally if I'm gone, you know, the rent, you ain't gonna be able to pay your rent. We need to talk about this. We need to figure this out. This is crazy. If you know, if you're financially reliant on me, that you know, that everything crumbles if I'm gone. Like we need to pattern that right now. Like we need to have a conversation about it. We need to create plans for it. We need to help you create budgets, speak to social, whatever can be done to help, you know, reduce the dependency. You know what I mean? Again, even before I've moved out, like that needs to happen, because you know, because once I've moved out, you know, that immediately that has to change. So that so that needs to be patterned up even before then. You know, so I think he needs to. I 100% think he needs to do that. I do also think, though, in the grand scheme of things, what's it called? The only thing I'll say, like, I do agree with him in the sense of if he wants to, if he's looking just to like go and waste £1,000 plus on rent, like, instead of maybe, you know, contributing that 500 quid at home and being able to save the other 500, like that's, you know, to me that makes way more sense to stay at home, save some money. Like it's the end of the day, I don't want to see any of us get caught up in that rent trap, bro. Like especially in London, like it's near enough impossible to get out of the rent trap once you're in London. Like you need to make sure that, you know, like I want to see us buying homes. Like I'm sick of seeing we grew up in council houses and then we're moving on to council houses. You get what I'm saying? Like I want to, you know what I mean? Like we need to stop. We need to get out of this. We need to be able to own stuff. We need to, you know, do like the other coaches do in terms of being able to, you know, own properties, plural, you know, if we can, but at least one property to something that you can tangibly have as your own, that you don't have to rent, you know, you don't have to rely on other people for. You don't got to save. So I'm definitely like, if you can save as long as you can. Like you can start changing the relationship with your mum while you're still there. Like they don't gotta be the day you move out is the day you change your relationship. Like start changing your relationship now. But also focus on trying to save your bread. Like don't get caught up in the fact that I just want to get my own space. I just want to bring Gallo to the yard. Like, you know, I've done that where you're just like, yo, I just want to check you out, and then you're like 6 months later, a year later, you're like, rah, like I wasn't ready to get out. You know what I mean? You know, you're just sitting there going, yo, like you need to make sure, you know, like the smarter decision is to save. You know what I mean? I'm always gonna push saving, I'm always gonna push owning a home over renting any day of the week. So yeah, I think you gotta think of. So I think it's definitely advising to stay, but while he's there, start doing the things that need to be done to quote unquote sever that dependency that she has. You know what I'm saying?
Based on this dilemma, yeah, do you feel like, obviously we're definitely assuming here and jumping to conclusions potentially, yeah, but based on this dilemma, yeah, do you feel like he has money saved up ready to move out, or do you feel like he doesn't?
I'm sure he's probably got enough to do the, you know, what they usually ask for, like a deposit, like 2-3 months in advance of sign. So I'm sure he's probably got that maybe in the account. But in terms of, I don't know if he's got, you know, the reason why I'm asking that is because, and maybe Stacey might relate to this point. If a son, same situation, earns 100K, yeah, so he has the money, right, to live by himself independently, can put money aside to get his own property and things of that nature, yeah. Do you feel like a man, 29-year-old man who earns about 80 to 100K would still be living at home with his mum? I don't think you need to. Obviously, if you're choosing to do that, so be it. That's
but do you think somebody would?
I think that's on you. If you're doing that, that's your you can't put down his mum Put it that way. Like that's a you choice there. If you're making that kind of bread, then
No,
that's definitely
100%. It will definitely be that up to that person. But what I'm saying is, do you think that person would? The reason what I'm trying to get to is, I think sometimes when people earn certain amounts of money, when they do certain jobs, when they're living independently, or when they have certain experience, whatever it may be, it frames their mindset, right? And often, I think we don't always draw the right lines and can see the correlation between certain things. For some reason, in my head, I think a minimal amount of people who earn a lot of money would be at home. So what I'm trying to say is, I'm not necessarily saying that. I'm not necessarily saying that that he's only at home because he doesn't earn a lot of money. But what I am saying is, the chances is, if he earned a lot of money, something would have made him leave, because he would see the world differently. You know what I'm saying? And so if that's the case, if he doesn't earn a lot of money, is it also himself also enjoying the attachment as well? Is he gaining something from the attachment too?
Yeah, I was gonna say, there's definitely like it's definitely a two-way street. Like, he's definitely become accustomed to the relationship as it is, whatever how you want to call it here. Like, he's definitely, is used to it and is comfortable in that. Maybe not so much now, because he's obviously now considering severing it. But up to this point, he's been comfortable in that relationship. It's only now that he's sort of has, maybe he's starting, I guess, maybe he's starting to make a certain amount of money, and he's going, hey, like, I'm starting to make a certain amount of money now, and I'm starting to now see potentially this relationship I have with my mum is a problem, whatnot. So it's like, so maybe that might be playing a part in it. So I do agree with the money side, definitely. Of course, it plays a part in terms of how you think about it.
Or maybe if it's so common for 29-year-old men to be living at home, regardless of their income, maybe he's looking around and it's kind of just normal to be at home. I'm not advocating for it, but I'm speaking for a place where it's not normal for grown men at their big age of 29 to be at home. But the way I was received, clearly this is normal for y'all. So what's the incentive? No, I'm sorry. That sounds so condescending, but I'm actually serious. Like, maybe, like, if you're not seeing it happening around you, like out here by 29, you're kind of at the end of the roommate phase. Like, most of your friends have either moved out of the roommate situation, gotten their own place, depending on where you're at. A lot of my friends in certain states, if you live in Atlanta, Texas, by 25, you own a home. Like, probably on your second one, rental property type by now. So if it's not normal for your peers to be living with roommates, talk less of living on their own, I guess it's not normal. So why would you be looking to do that?
No, I hear you on that one. Yeah, it's not definitely not the norm, that type of thing, especially like you said, like the whole home ownership of that 25. Like, I know for myself, I've got my home in my late 20s, and majority of my friends were still renting. Maybe a small percentage were living at home, but their bulk was just renting at that point. That does play a part. I hear you.
Bathroom Diary says, we keep talking about owning property, which is great, but how many people in the chat actually own property though? That would be a good poll for today or tomorrow too. This is a good question. It's a good question.
Especially the ones that moved out. I was flogged for saying you should stay home to save. How many of you are renting?
But that's the thing though. Like, it sounds from what you're saying though, Stacey, that you'd prefer the man to be out by himself renting though, not necessarily
require, not prefer.
There you go.
Come on.
I love it.
To be clear.
No, but the thing is, for somebody who has that opinion, because you're doing it yourself, you only deserve, I'm going to sound a bit crazy, but you only deserve to have a man that's on that level or more. Do you get what I'm saying?
But
so it makes sense that you have this view. Yeah.
If he's 29 and living at home, the likelihood of me coming across a man at 29 living at home is extremely unlikely. But let's just, throw a wrench for the plot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I said earlier, an explanation and a move out date. I don't think that at 29, the types of men that I come across, educated at this point, at 29, you're well into your career. You're out of the entry level phase. You're in the mid-level to management level phase in your career. If you're at home, there's probably a reason. Maybe you have an ill parent and it requires a bit more hands-onness that, the cost of hiring someone to do that just doesn't justify if you're nearby. That makes sense. I'm mad at that. You're using the money that you could have spent on rent maybe towards a rental property while you take care of mom. I know people who are in that situation. Makes sense.
Sorry.
29. Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, sorry, Stacey, can I ask a question? Good morning, people. It's Kofi here. Stacey, can I ask a question? So with regards to, I'm assuming you rent your property, right? Or did you buy it?
Correct.
Yeah. So how easy? Because I think the difference is what happens in America and what happens in the UK. In the UK, it's very hard to go and rent a property because I think a lot of people can move out and rent. But I think in the UK, the feeling is what's the point of moving out to rent and then finding it very hard to buy property because the rent control laws here is not very good. Landlords will come in and effectively increase your rent without any real reason, and it's very hard to save and go and buy a property because most people in the UK want to buy a property because it gives you an asset and it helps generate wealth. But I feel in America, loads of people are happy to rent, and then so I want to know: is it hard for you to go from rent to owning a property, or are you happy to rent for most of your life? So what's the situation there?
I think it's more the same than it is different than you think. I think, especially my age, like people who are in their 20s, early 30s, just the way the economy and the real estate market is set up presently, houses are extremely inflated, especially after post-COVID. So if you didn't get into real estate 2020, 2021 latest and before, it just financially doesn't make sense to buy depending on where you are. Like if you're in the Texases, the Georgias, insert random ass Kansas, Ohio type states, the affordability is more feasible, especially, and it may depend, the income fluctuates or the income ceilings fluctuate in those states as well, but it's still a lot more palatable. Whereas if you live in LA and a 1,000 square foot, 1 bedroom, 1.5 bathroom house is going for $900,000 and you're looking at a 7,000 plus mortgage, haven't talked about HOA, haven't talked about insurance, haven't talked about all these things, where the same 1 bedroom rent where you don't have to worry about upkeep, you don't have to worry about, have concierge security, all those things is 2,500, 2,700, which is very normal in LA, expensive, but normal. Why wouldn't I take that?
That's fair.
And also, if the $900,000 home is inflated, and the honestly, I don't see a 1 bedroom home for $900,000 going beyond that point. I don't. If we get to a world where 1 bedroom homes, 1 bedroom condos are going into the $1 million range, we have honestly lost the plot. It's not It's not, as an investment. It doesn't make sense. So if the entire point in buying a home is to invest, and you're buying it at a ceiling, what then is the point? I'd rather rent until I can get the market kind of normalizes, and then enter the real estate game that way. I can save what little I can, whether that's in my retirement that I can borrow against when I, eventually buy a home, or if I continue increasing my income and saving money that way. But for a lot of us, buying, depending on where you're at, is just not reasonable. So we don't want to rent forever, but it's just the most practical financially right now.
So I think
guys,
that's where. Go on.
No, go on, Kofi, because I'm about to.
Yeah, I know you guys got to leave soon, so I'll try and be quick. Yeah, so I think, Stacey, that's where the difference is in perception, especially in the UK. I think most people in the UK don't want to rent long term because I think they feel financially viable is not great, and it'll be better if we can get onto the property ladder, and then sort of have an asset and invest from there. And in most of the cases, I find that renting, like as you said, renting was only 2,700, although, which is quite a bit, and American salaries tend to be higher. I think in the UK, renting tends to be more than the actual mortgage costs in most cases. So that's why I think a lot of people want to, of the mindset of, I'm going to stay at home, save up, because it's actually financially more viable for me to buy a property than to rent long term. Because then, it's very hard to get onto property ladder. That's just my belief. That's what I did. I stayed at home for a while, got married, and then together we bought a property. So,
what is the average salary annually in the UK?
So in the UK, was it like £32,000?
No, it's less than that. You know,
It's
I
less
think,
than that.
Yeah. I think London is.
No, ONS said it's 36.
Huh?
ONS said it's 36k
In the UK.
Yeah, that according to
36?
ONS.
Oh wow, it's gone up then.
36K is the
That's
average.
similar to the average in the US when you can put it in US dollars.
I thought it was about 28.
What's the average salary in the US?
I wouldn't be shocked if it's around 50K US dollars. 36,000 pounds is about 48,000 US dollars.
So you paying a salary of 2,700. So what's your tax? Because 2,700 here is about take home salary 2,000. If you're taking home 2,700, you're making about 50K.
So let me put this in perspective in US dollars, just real quick, because I know we have to go. When I moved back to LA on my own, and I had roommates, right after college, my salary was 50K.
Okay,
that's about 37,000 and some change pounds. After taxes, that's probably around 38K. That's about 28,000 pounds.
Yeah, what's that amount?
Most people ain't getting starting salary with 28,000
Per
pounds
month?
at uni. At uni, most people ain't getting 28,000.
Yeah. Also, and makes a great point. After uni, most kids here, most students here, they're not making £37,000.
Yeah, straight away.
Straight away, they're not. They're making about probably mid 20s.
But that's what I just said.
No, but you said you're making 37,000.
She said
Yeah, but you're saying after tax, though. Like this is before
it's
tax.
coming out to about 28,000.
Yeah, but
before tax, before tax, we're making like 23, 24.
Yeah,
and that's before tax.
That's before.
And
tax.
after tax?
So after tax, that's
20. 20 after tax, even less.
Yeah,
so that's why I feel the American perspective is quite different. Your salaries are much higher. So I think when you come in that angle, it makes sense why you feel like why aren't you renting? But in UK, it's very difficult, man. Very difficult.
I just wanted to mention it because I'm seeing in the chat basically people who have the same sentiment as me. Like when I heard you guys say 30-something thousand is the average in the UK, I was like, no way. That's insane. I thought it was about 28, but I thought
it was 27.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like I've just Googled it and apparently UK, the average, in London it's 47.5.
The London average, that's not true.
That can't be true. And in the UK,
that's not true, man.
In the UK it's 36.5, 36,700. This can't be true though. But maybe with everything, with inflation and all the pay rises now, everything has been, boosted. The value might
47,500 pounds is 63,000 US dollars, and for that's around what someone is making a couple years out of college, maybe a year or two out of college.
That's what I was about to say. That money's not what people are making though. That's not what 20-something-year-old is making. Is not making 47, even in London.
Yeah, no
most.
Exactly.
Somebody just said that the average for someone 40 to 49 is 42,000 pounds. How the hell are y'all retiring?
But this is what they're trying to tell you.
That's what we're trying to tell you, Stacey.
I'm concerned if I'm making that amount of money at 25. What the hell?
Listen, guys, we have to wrap up here, but we're definitely going to pick up from here tomorrow, man, and get into this properly.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely.
All right, y'all. Toodles.
Share the video, people.
Thank you.
Thank you for calling.
Christy, thank you. Stacey, thank you. Ed, thank you.
Kofi. Yeah, man. Appreciate you calling. Thank you, everybody in the chat. We're definitely going to deep dive into this again tomorrow. And we're definitely not going to forget our brother's initial dilemma. You know what I'm saying? About
Do you want him to give you or provide any more information for tomorrow? If you can?
Yeah. So please, provide more information, especially about maybe, if you don't mind, how much you earn, how long your mom's been single, in terms of how long it's been just you and your mom, that sort of stuff. Anything that you think might be relevant, especially stuff that we touched on today. And then, we can hopefully advise a bit better.
All right, the results of the poll. The poll said 29 and living at home, ick or no ick, same situation we're discussing. 8% say icky, 4% say very icky, 32% say I need more information, and a resounding 56% say no, not at all. It's not icky.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. All right, people. let's get into the rest of the headlines and wrap up.
All right.
All right, people. So, last set of headlines. President Donald Trump defended his trade war with China, stating that voters signed up for it. Trump emphasized that his campaign focused on addressing trade imbalances and claimed the US was losing billions daily due to unfair trade practices. Analysts predict that global tariffs announced on April 2nd could cost American families thousands more dollars annually, raising concerns about economic uncertainty. A Reuters poll showed Trump's economic approval rating dropped to 36%, the lowest in his presidency, with disapproval rates rising to 56%. Next headline, and China created a list of US-made goods
Before
exempted.
you move on to the next headline, is it fair to suggest that people voted for what he's doing?
I think overall I'll say no. Because I don't think the average person understands politics and what goes into it. You know what I'm saying? But if you did, then you'd kind of understand what it took for him, what it will take for him to do the things he said he was going to do. Do you know what I'm saying?
Which is suffering before salvation.
Yeah. And he said that, but he said that when he became president.
He said it would be like that, the red.
I don't think he said that.
Oh, he didn't say that it would
He
be
said
easy for him to basically...
he's going to do certain things immediately,
Yeah.
but the effects of those things won't be like that. That's impossible to say. 100%.
I'm paralleling this to Brexit, innit? Because 100%, like, politicians could turn around and say that this is what you voted for.
Yeah.
But the information that they were given and the reality of things.
That is true.
Anyway, continue.
So our knowledge is power, guys. China created a list of US-made goods exempted from its 125% tariffs, with companies being quietly notified. Previous exemptions include pharmaceuticals, microchips, and aircraft engines. Products on the new list remain unclear. Firms are being asked to identify critical goods that they need levy-free, and authorities are contacting companies privately about the exemptions. China recently waived tariffs on ethane imports from the US, as the US is the sole supplier. This approach allows China to maintain public messaging while privately making concessions. Beijing has surveyed companies to assess the impact of the tariff war and identify critical issues caused by tariff tensions. In the last headlines, Marks & Spencer's experienced empty shelves due to systems taken offline in response to a cyber attack, causing limited availability in some stores. The cyber incident, ongoing for over a week, disrupted contactless payments, click and collect orders, and the retailer's website and app operations. The attack has significantly impacted M&S financially, with millions wiped off its market value. Reports link the attack to the Scattered Spider hacking group involving British and American teenagers, potentially using tools from Dragon Force, which is a ransomware cartel. And that's pretty much it for the headlines. Stacey said he never said suffering before salvation. Yeah, he didn't say that.
No,
Yeah.
I don't. It just mean like literally. She was basically saying, yeah, he did promise a lot very quickly. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, reaction.
Yes, let's get to it.
All right, cool. I see a lot of vexation and jubilation on equal measure for Arsenal's fantastic first half yesterday at Emirates. You're not going to get much from me because it's half time. What you will get is, I think it was a 0-0 game or a 1-1 game or a 2-2 game. I was impressed with PSG's first 20 minutes. We were rattled, absolutely rattled. We were definitely missing something in midfield. But we grew into the game and we had an opportunity to, put a couple in. We didn't take those opportunities. I don't know if it's going to come back to bite us next leg. But I'm looking forward to the next leg. I'm still quietly confident, especially as we would have kind of a party coming back. We would have seen PSG up in person. I do believe that Arteta will make a couple, adjustments. And yeah, we're going into their ground, their home, and I'm hopeful. But PSG is a very good team, a very, very good team, and they play very differently to Real Madrid. So it's going to be a very good game, a very good game. It's not going to be a walk in the park. As some people had suggested beforehand, I heard some people saying it was going to be a 3-0 battering by Arsenal. I don't know where they got that from, but this is the type of nights we look forward to, man. There's so much at stake. I do believe if we get pumped up, there's going to be so much toxicity within the fan base, so much. But I've seen enough from this first leg that, yeah, we can basically do something, provided that we go there and learn the lessons of this first half. But it was a good game to watch, and yeah, I look forward to next week. That is it. Tomorrow, I'll open up the phone line. You can jump on. You can share your opinions. I just have no time right now. I'm actually 15 minutes late. So we will continue this tomorrow. All right. Wrap up.
All right, beautiful people.
Sorry,
Okay.
that was from yesterday.
Okay. Yeah, today we had a good show, man. We spoke about the White House attacking Amazon over a scrapped tariff plan, and we also spoke about the fire that has destroyed the historic U.S. church that has deep ties to Martin Luther King Jr. And we spoke about the UK joining in with the US in strikes on Houthi targets in Yemen. It's for the first time since Donald Trump got re-elected. We spoke about France accusing Russia of cyber attacks on defense and finance and things of that nature. We spoke about the husband of the late Nigerian gospel singer who has been sentenced to death, Peter Inwachuku. And we spoke about the Southern African bloc that's basically began to withdraw their troops from DR Congo. We also spoke about Trump doubling down on the trade war with China and insisting that Americans basically signed up for this when they elected him. And also how, according to sources, China created a list of US-made goods that are exempt from the 125% tariffs. And also M&S shelves, man, hit by shortages as retailer reels from cyber attack. So that's why I went M&S the other day. There's nothing there, man. I was trying to get me a little meal deal.
I don't have that type of money to be shopping at M&S like at Sainsbury's or Tesco, bro.
Neither do I.
But you were there.
Because of proximity. The closest place, and I needed it in short.
Living in Chelsea would do that for you, bro.
Huh?
Living in Chelsea would do that for you, bro.
One day.
Sorry,
Amen.
I should be telling people's business.
And also for topic of the day, we spoke about black mothers and their sons. There's a thin line between love and harm, man. We spoke about that for about 5 minutes, and then we moved on to other stuff. But tomorrow, we're gonna unpack it all, man. Everything that we spoke about today, plus the actual dilemma as well, man. So make sure you tune in. Please tell a friend and tell another friend. You know what I'm saying? Like, join in the conversation, man. Open up the Discord and whatnot so that we can have a proper, informed conversation and look at the realistic aspirations that people have or don't have. And yeah, man.
Dana Greatness says Sainsbury's seems more expensive than M&S. Is that true?
I don't know about that, you know.
M&S
is
Nadia?
expensive.
Add another week onto your research.
Nadia, where you at, man? Give us the answers, man. You know what I'm saying? Oh, goodness me. But yeah, guys, it's been good, man. We'll be back here tomorrow, 8 o'clock, roughly. And yeah, man, it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one. Check the description as well, man. ACLT. We're going to speak about it a bit more tomorrow. But yeah, if you haven't, check out that amazing interview we had with Beverly and Orion DeGale. Remember, ACLT is the African Caribbean Leukemia Trust. It's all about us donating blood, man, to save ourselves, man. Literally, it's only us that can do it for ourselves, man. Like, we're the most underrepresented, but the most in need. It's so much harder for us to get blood donations when our people are in need, man. So please please consider it.
I
But
promise you, everybody who keeps on emailing me or sending me messages asking about clips from previous episodes, I promise you, I am going to get onto it when I am finished what I'm doing, and it's very soon. I promise you, our feed isn't going to be scant.
Yeah.
This YouTube feed isn't going to be scant. I promise you, I'll get back to to normality. But I beg you, give me a little grace, just a little more. I know I've been asking for a lot, but it's nearly there.
It's gonna make sense, guys.
Don't worry, we will give you all the context when it is we are done. I'm telling you, I promise you. But anyway, thank you very much for turning up. I'll do the roll call tomorrow. I didn't do it today, but I apologize. But you know, we always love you. We're sending that love. Thanks for the support. Keep rocking with us. This is just the beginning.
Yes. Big up Chichoke as well, man.
All the time.
He has the information. It's so funny. Did you see the comment?
For that, someone in the chat who said Iman and Brent were wrong on how they report. Oh yeah, he is the archive of knowledge, fountain of wisdom.
Oh man,
he has the 411, and if in doubt, go to Chichoke. Yeah. He provide the context. And
he'll give you the answers.
And more.
You know what I'm saying? Now they all say it's wrong, but not provide any answers. But it's all right. We will live and learn. All right, people. Tomorrow.
Little later.
Peace.